Hello everyone, my name is Chaitra Shriyar. So I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Information Science and Engineering. Today I am going to explain about the addressing modes that you are using in the instructions. So as we all know that data can be organized using various data structures like stacks, arrays and queues. So while addressing these data structures, so your assembler should have a special implementation to address these instructions. So how the instructions can be addressed and how they are being classified, here some of the addressing modes we will be discussing in this class. So before we are going to look at into the addressing modes, we are going to learn or we get a clear picture between an variables and constants. So how you will be representing the variables and how you will be representing the constants in an instruction set. So usually the variables will be always represented by using an register or an memory location to hold the value of the variables, whereas the constants will be always represented by using an sharp sign preceding the value of the constant. So these two difference between the variables and constants, you need to have a clear picture about it before you look at into the addressing modes of your instruction set. So now we are going to learn about various types of addressing modes. The very first type of addressing mode is your register mode. So what do you mean by an register mode? So how you will be write an instruction using your register mode? So as you already know that the instructions will be divided into two parts. The very first part is your operator and followed by its operands, isn't it? So in your registered mode, you will be having the operators to which operation you will need to be determined followed by its operands. So let's look at an example for your registered mode. For example, move R1, R2. So this is an instruction which is being written in an registered mode. How you will be going to know that whether it is in a registered mode? In registered mode, operation whatever the you will be going to specify, that is the operation you are going to carry out, and the operators you are need to be followed, that is the operands, will be always in the register name, that is R1 register and R2 register. Since you already know, the very first operand will be your source operand and the second operand will be your destination operand, isn't it? So now the contents of register R1 is moved to the content of the register R2. Suppose you will be having another example called as add R0, R1. So what the operation will be carried out in this instruction set means, that is the operation that is being carried out is your add operation. So the very first register will be your source operand and the second register will be acting as a destination operand. So you will be moving the contents of register R0 to register R1. So what is the operation you need to carry out here is addition. So the contents of register R0 will be added to the contents of register R1 and the sum will be get and stored it into the register R1. So how you will be explaining your register mode means, the instructions will be followed by the register. The name of the register itself will be specified explicitly in your instruction set. That is why it has been called it as register mode. Fine. So now let's look about the second type of your addressing mode, that is your absolute addressing mode or direct addressing mode. So what do you mean by an absolute addressing mode or direct addressing mode? As the name itself is specifying, it is an direct mode. So you will be directly specifying the name of the memory location. So let's look at one of the examples. So you will be having a clear picture about it. So now I will be writing an example as move lock comma R1. So this is your direct mode. What I have been specified here, the operation I need to carry out is move. So I will be specifying the name of the memory location called lock. So now I will be moving the contents of memory location lock to the register R1. That is why it is being called it as absolute or direct mode. So direct means you will be directly specifying the name of the memory location in the instruction explicitly. So I will be specifying name itself. So suppose another example called as add num1 comma R0. So let might be this your second example. Again the operation carried out here is add operation. So I will be adding the contents of the memory location num1 to the contents of R0, and I will be saving the sum of these two contents, and that will be saved into your registered operand, that is your R0 register. Fine. So that is why it has been called it as your direct mode or an absolute mode. Why it has been called it as direct mode means in the instruction itself you will be directly specifying the name of the memory location. Fine. So now let's move on to the next type of your addressing mode, that is your immediate addressing mode. So in this direct addressing mode, what you have been specified? You have been specified the name of the memory location. So now when you accessing the instruction, when this instruction is being accessed by the assembler, when it reads the name of the memory location lock, it will be going to the name of the memory location lock. Suppose now it is being specified as lock. Now when the instruction is being accessed, the lock memory, it will be move on to the lock memory location. Here suppose the content is been 10. So now the location memory location lock is being accessed, and then the content is being read it out, isn't it? So that is why it is called as direct mode. Whereas in your immediate mode, you will be not specifying the name of the memory location. Here whatever the values which is being present in the memory, directly you will be placing this value in the instruction itself. That is why it is called as immediate mode. Means immediate means I need to get the contents of the operand immediately, instead of specifying the name of the memory. Next, after going to this name of the memory, and then I need to fetch the contents in that particular memory location. Instead of it, what I will be doing, I will be directly specifying the value in the instruction itself. So before specifying the value in the instruction itself, the value should be always preceding with a sharp symbol. As I already told before starting the addressing modes, you need to have a clear difference between the variables and constants. As I told that the constants will always be represented by an sharp sign. Again, if you need to use that constant in your instruction also, you need to represent with an sharp sign. So let's look at an example so that you will get a clear idea. So what might be the example? Move hash 400 comma R1. So move hash 400 comma R1. Now this is a constant value. As I already told, the constant value should always precede with a sharp sign. So now how this instruction is being accessed is, the operator used here is move. So moving the value 400 to the register R1. Suppose if you have not specified the value sharp sign, so what it will be doing? So it will be going and accessing the 400 memory location, and then contents of that 400 memory location will be read, and that will be moved it into the register R1. So this will be the common mistake while we'll be doing while programming. So to avoid such mistakes, so you need to have a clear idea between specifying an variable and specifying an constant value. Now the value 400 is being read and that 400 will be moved to the register R1. Fine. Did you got a clear idea about the immediate register mode, so immediate addressing mode? So that is why it is being called it as immediate mode. Immediately I need to transfer the 400 value to my register. Suppose if I specified an memory location address, means I need to go and read that location, and at that location what the content is being specified, I need to move that content to my register R1. So since it is a time consuming process, so I will be directly specifying my value in the instruction itself. Fine. So these are some of the basic addressing modes. So now let's look about another types of addressing modes which are used in your instruction set. The next type of your addressing mode is your indirect addressing mode. So what do you mean by indirect addressing mode? So how you will be specifying the instructions or registers in your indirect addressing mode? Yes, before in your indirect addressing mode, you can specify it in a registers, or you can specify the memory location also, name of the memory location. But the thing is, you need to always address within the parenthesis. So, and also why it is being called it as an indirect addressing mode means that instructions will not directly specify the name of the memory location, but it will be specifying the information where the actual address is being present. So first you need to calculate the effective address of your operand. So how you will be calculating the effective address of your operand is, the very first it will be specifying with the indirect mode Ri, and then you need to component with this next Rj. So if the register or the memory location is being enclosed within the parenthesis, means then it is understood that it is an indirect addressing mode. Why? Because I am not directly specifying the register, or I am not directly specifying the memory location. What I am specifying, what the thing is being specified here in the Ri register. In this register, it will be specifying the information where your actual address of the operand is being present. So let's look at these two examples so that you will get a clear idea of your indirect mode. So here in this first example, it is being specified with the register. So the instruction add Ri comma R0. So as I already told, if the register or the memory location is being enclosed within a bracket, means it is understood that it is an indirect mode. Now in your instruction add R1 comma R0, you cannot directly read the contents of R1 to the R0 register. Why? Because it is an indirect mode. So what you need to do is, you will be reading the R1 register. Yes, now coming back to your R1 register, what it is being stored in your R1 register means, it will be having the address of your operand where your actual operand is being present. So here you will be specified as R1 register having the address of B. So now you got the address B, and now you are going to the memory location B, and then you will be fetching the operand, that is the R1 content, and now this contents or the operand is being added with the contents of register R0. That is why it is called it as indirect mode or indirect addressing mode. So add R1 comma R0, you are not directly moving the contents of R1 to R0. What you are doing, you are fetching the address of the contents in R1 register, that is the B address, B memory location address. From B you will be getting the operand. So suppose when you use an memory location also, here you are using with the general purpose register R1, here you can also use the memory location also. In this example, what you have been done, add A comma R0. So A is the name of the memory location. So you cannot directly read the contents of the A memory location. Why? Because A is enclosed within the brackets. When it is been enclosed within the bracket, it is understood that it is an indirect addressing mode. So what you need to do? You need to go back to the A memory location. Now in the A memory location, you will be getting the address of the operand. So it is been closed in your A memory location. In the A memory location, you get the address of the operand where it is been present. Now it has been present in the B memory location. So coming back to your B memory location, here the actual operand is been present. So now this operand is been fetched and then it is been added with the contents of R0, and the sum is been get stored in the destination operand, that is your R0. Fine, understood how the indirect mode operates in your instruction. So you can make use of the indirect mode through the general purpose register also, as well as with your memory location also. So by this, what the advantage you can gain from this indirect addressing mode? So the very flexible advantage that you gain in your indirect addressing mode is, so as soon as you will be changing the contents of R1, or you can keep on changing the contents of the memory location A. That is, whatever the contents I have stored in R1 is B memory location, and what the contents I have been stored in A memory location is, so B memory location. If I keep on changing the contents of R1 and A, the instruction will not get affected. So I can keep on changing the contents of R1. So I can make it as A memory location. Here I can make it as C memory location, so that it does not affect my instruction. So I can keep on adding the different contents to my register R0 with a single instruction, that is add A comma R0 or add R1 comma R0. If I change the contents of R1 as A, so it will go and read with the A memory location where I will be storing another operand. Again in this example, if I change the contents of A memory location as C, so now in the C, what it will be present? Again I will be going and checking the C memory location where I will be presenting, or where I will be keeping another operand 1. Now this contents will be read and it will be added with the register R0. So with a single instruction, I can keep on changing the contents of the operands and get summed with the destination operand. This is the very flexible advantage that you will be gaining in your indirect addressing mode. That is why this will be most commonly used addressing mode in your programming language. So let's look at a simple example or a simple program how this indirect mode gets operate. So this is a very simple example how your indirect mode gets operates. So here you will be using 3 registers, that is R0, R1, R2. So for what purpose these registers are being used? R0 register is being used to hold the sum of the numbers. So this program is for addition of n numbers. So addition of n numbers is being carried out. To R0 register will be used to calculate the addition, and initially it will be cleared to 0, whereas R1 register is used to used as a counter to hold the count of n numbers. Suppose if you having 10 numbers, it will be holding, the R1 register will be holding the value of 10. Next, the R2 register will be used, or it will be fetching the address of the first number in your array. So it will be denoting, or it will be representing to the first location of your number list. Fine. So next we will be going on or look about the instructions, how it is been carried out. Move n1 comma r1. So whatever the counter or how many numbers will be placed in your array, that counter will be moved on to your register r1. Next, move hash num1 comma r2. So this r2 will be acting as an pointer register. So this r2 will be pointing to the first number in the list. Suppose here r0, since r0 is used as an addition purpose, initially the r0 value will be cleared to 0. Next, coming on to the accessing or operation of your addition of n numbers. The first operation is you will be carrying out as add r2 comma r0. Since r2 is a pointer register and it is been enclosed within the bracket, it is an indirect addressing mode. So add r2 comma r0 means r2, where what is it is been present with the r2? R2 is placed with the what? First number in your array. So that is the first number will be read in the array and it will be moved to the content, that contents of r2 will be moved to the register r0. Next, add hash 4 comma r2. Why this add hash 4 comma r2? Now the pointer register r2 is placing to the second number in your array. So the first number is hash num1. So next the r2 will be pointing to the next number in your array. So to point to a next number, you will be incrementing by 4. So add hash 4 comma r2 so that the pointer register r2 will get and placed onto a next number in your array. Next is your decrement r1. So now if the value of n is 10, now you are decrementing the register r1, so now it become as 9. So after decrementing r1, again you will be matching up with, if branch is greater than 0, yes, it is greater than 0, 9. Next, again it will be going back to the loop and again the same process continues. Again r2 comma add r2 comma r0. Again it will be fetching the contents in your register and it will be moved to r2. Next it will be pointing to the next number in your array and again the pointer register will be get stored it out and again you will be decrementing. So till where you will be decrementing? Until your r1 value gets 0. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now your condition gets fails and it will be gets terminated from the loop. Now the contents of r0, what it is been having? So it will be storing all the sum of n numbers in your array. So now all that sum of n numbers which is been stored in r0 will be moved to an variable name called as sum. Fine. This is how you will be finding the addition of n numbers using indirect addressing mode. Fine. Clear how the indirect addressing mode is being carried out to find out the addition of n numbers. Fine. So now let's look on to an